Something that I think will help you along your journey is learning how to understand fear, as well as understand your emotions in general. But specifically, the ones that we generally are kind of avoiding, the ones that we don't necessarily want to look at, the anxiety, the fear, the pain, whatever. I think it's important to look at that. And something I have been doing recently is really differentiating the difference between anxiety and fear. Okay, because I think when someone is pursuing something that they desire or something that they feel like is meant for them, there's going to be anxiety. Let's say you feel your purpose is to be a singer, but maybe you have stage fright and you get anxiety. That is okay. But understand that is not fear, that is anxiety. And I think a lot of people don't take the time to look at themselves and feel like, okay, am I feeling anxious or am I feeling fear? Because those are very different things. Okay. So if I feel like, oh, this is what I'm called to, this is what I'm meant to do, it's not going to feel like fear. It may feel like anxiety. It may feel like, oh, I don't know, what am I going to do? Like, but that's fine. But it won't feel like fear. It won't feel like that existential dread of fear. And so one thing that I look at myself is when I'm making a decision, I like to be present and look at why am I doing this and what am I feeling when I'm making this decision? Because a lot of times I think people make decisions out of fear. They make decisions out of, fear, especially financially. They feel like they have to make compromises or do this or that because they're afraid. What you're supposed to do, what you're aligned to, magnetically pulled to, drawn to, divinely guided towards. When you do it, you will not feel like fear. You will not feel fear. You may feel anxiety, but not fear. Okay? So let's say, for example, you feel like you're meant to be an artist. You're meant to be a singer. We'll take this example. But you're worried about the finances of it. And so your mind tells you, oh, take a side job, do this, do this, do this. And not trusting that magnetism, not trusting that path. If you're in tune with your intuition, you won't be able to let yourself actually take that side job because you know it's not meant for you. And you know it will take you off your path. And so the want and desire to fulfill that, to take that other path that's not meant for you, it will feel like fear. It will feel like fear and it'll be driven by fear. So I want you to remind yourself daily, what actions am I taking? And what energy am I taking them from? Is it coming from a flow state, a divine flow, and within the flow of nature and life? Is it from the perspective of wanting and needing to control things? Is it from the perspective of fear and not knowing what's going to happen? All these things are okay, but I just want to remind you, what are you doing the things that you're doing them for? And let's say you are to take that other path and you do it out of fear. What do you think is to come of it? Fear. That path is fear. When you choose that path out of fear, you're choosing fear. You're not choosing your aligned path. So who are we to deliberately choose fear, to choose a path of fear? That doesn't make sense. That's not what we're here for. And when someone is constantly worried or in that emotion and bogged down by fear, a lot of that comes because they're not listening to their intuition. And fear is actually a sign of intuition. When you feel that fear, when you're making a decision, you feel that fear and you're doing it out of fear, you know that is not what's right for you. It is so incredibly important to trust, to let go and trust. And if you have never taken a leap of faith in your life where you felt like you had to trust, and even if it didn't make sense, you know it's right for you. Like, that may be scary, but I want to let you know, like, I personally, for those of us who have taken those leap of faith in the past and seen the rewards of those, you just gotta know, like, you just gotta believe. You just gotta go with the flow and trust. Trust that you've made the right decision. Trust yourself, trust the universe, trust God, whatever it may be that you want to describe it as. You gotta trust, you gotta have that faith, and I know what that is like to really put things on the line. Because I've done it in the past, Um, I manifested, traveling the world when I didn't even have a passport. And I was supposed to be, if I was going to take logic in my fear's mind, I would have been stuck in a dead end job, doing this and that, blah, blah, blah. And considering I didn't have the resources to actually do all those things I wanted to do, but I just trusted and everything happened in perfect alignment, perfect timing. And so, and at the end of the day, I knew it intuitively, even if my mind could have come up with, this is how we're going to do this, blah, blah, blah. Intuitively, I knew. So I just followed that feeling. I think living your life through feeling and trusting how you feel is a very important aspect of life. Knowing when you're choosing something out of fear, when you're choosing it out of intuition, when you're choosing it out of love, when you're choosing it out of anger, of trust, of whatever emotion it may be. So that's why there's importance of learning your emotions and learning what they tell you, right? So going back to when I talked about anxiety, and even if, you're pursuing and you feel like something, this is what you're supposed to do, right? This is what you love. Let's say you're going into a basketball game. You love the game of basketball. This is what you want to do. But you just get those nerves before the game. Like, that is okay. I want to remind you that there are two sides to anxiety. One is the anxious side. The other is the excitement side. They're the same emotion. It's just how you perceive it. So if you can shift your mindset, you will see what it really is. And you get to determine what it is you choose. You get to determine if you choose the anxiety or if you choose the excitement. I'm gonna let that sink in for you. You can choose what that emotion means to you. Okay. And, of course, from a Buddhist or Eastern philosophical perspective, we would say, just let go. Let the emotions run through you. When they rise up, they rise up. And when they fall away, they fall away. And this is also a very beautiful thing. But I think generally, especially like Western people, need to learn how to be able to be unattached and flow and let life, and that's something that even this week I saw, I was pushing myself and I realized I was trying to control a situation because I wanted a certain outcome. I wanted, you know, to be like this. I was working my ass off doing this, blah, blah, blah. And I realized, whoa, why am I doing this? And I was doing it out of fear. I was doing it out of lack. But the reality is, when I stopped, I did nothing for a day, just relaxed. And I started seeing those signs and realizing, oh, how can this be more in alignment? How can me be doing nothing be more alignment than me taking action out of fear and lack? It's because I'm not meant to choose a path of fear and lack. Simply put, so when you make a decision and make a choice, understand what emotion you take it from, because that is the emotion and that is the path you're choosing. You choose with your emotions, with your feeling states. Okay, so if you go into that same basketball game with the attitude of just fun and enjoyment, it's going to be a very different experience than if you do it out of stress and needing to control how everything goes. Okay, and I mean, I think like the ultimate state of being is just detachment and letting go and letting yourself be however it is. Like even when I go in and I play basketball, I play pickup, like that's how I let myself be. If I make a shot, I'm gonna keep shooting. If I miss a shot, I'm gonna keep shooting because I trust myself and I'm just gonna enjoy. I think that's like a very good motive or a very good way of just looking at life in general. Like, don't be moved by the waves of life, the ups and downs. find that equilibrium within you. Regardless, I hope that you found some value out of what I had to say today. And if you did, I love hearing from you in the comments down below. Hit me a like, I appreciate all of that. And if you would like a little bit of time or help, really tapping into yourself and being able to let go and allow your emotions to flow through you, you can always join me in the link in the description down below. We do guided live meditations every week. I would love to see you there. It's a great time. We can just, be, vibe, heal, and just be in a more healthy state than one of lack, than one of fear, than one of needing control everything. I appreciate y'all, and I'll catch you later. One love.